been doing this activism thing for about 3.5 years now. Um, it seems like a lot of people don't get too active in this sort of movement until it affects them personally or someone close to them. And I myself got arrested in Iowa, just south of the border, and of Minnesota and Iowa, and that was about 3.5 years ago. Pretty much I got taken into the local prison, and they checked my skin color, and they determined, yep, he's actually Caucasian, so they decided 8 months later that I would be able to be released, but that is not the case with this drug war for a lot of other minorities, and that's one of the big reasons that I fight. I've done a lot of research on this issue, and I found that in Minnesota, I think it's in 2010 is the most recent statistics that I have, and 32% of the drug arrests were minorities. I think 28% were African Americans, and when we live in a state where we have 5.3% of our population that are African Americans, the discrepancy is very easy to see. And so if this information was out there a little bit more, I think that people would be more outraged. But that's what we're here to do today. We're out here to try to get the message out that this is not something that you have to personally be arrested to care about. You don't have to smoke cannabis to care about this issue. This is really the next civil rights issue, our generation's civil rights issue, that we really should be talking to our neighbors, changing the hearts and the minds of those around us about this issue. And to do so, we really need to be articulate. We need to know what we're talking about, and we need to explain that in rational, reasonable ways, and in non-threatening ways to our friends and our neighbors. So I encourage everyone here, I know a lot of you are activists yourself, keep up the good fight. We've got a lot of cool, exciting things going on this next year. There's probably 3 or 4 different avenues that I just want to talk about briefly, and then I'll give the mic back. But avenues of ways forward that we can try to progress the cause in Minnesota. The first one I'll say is a way that we cannot move forward. It's a way that a lot of other states have done, and that's through ballot initiative. This state is not an initiative state, so we cannot get signatures, present them to the Secretary of State, and then get a new issue on the ballot to amend the Constitution or amend the statutes. So what is left to us is the 3 branches of government: the judicial branch, the executive branch, and the legislative branch. I personally, with the help of Ed Engelman and a couple lawyers and others, approached the administrative branch, the Board of Pharmacy, who actually was in a position where they could regulate all of the controlled substances in our state. And I asked them, will you please take cannabis out of Schedule 1? And for that matter, out of the Controlled Substance Act altogether, so that this isn't a controlled substance any longer, because it's not highly addictive, and it does have accepted medical use in the United States, and the law says that it cannot have that. And so I presented 16 state laws to prove my point, and instead of actually changing the law, or changing the statute like I had asked, they actually went to these gentlemen behind me at the state legislature, and they asked them, hey, this Hanna guy, he's really giving us a hard time. Could we perhaps amend all of the laws so that we cannot remove a single substance from Schedule 1? And the state legislature decided, yeah, that's a great idea. We really would like to make it so this status quo stays the status quo. And in essence, because of that action, we no longer can go to this agency, which means that we now have the opportunity to go to the second branch, the judicial branch, and to bring a lawsuit forward and tell them cannabis should not be in Schedule 1. There's no remedy for us to go to tell them, to tell the state to fix it, and so therefore the courts need to declare it unconstitutional. It's unrational to have cannabis in Schedule 1 when the definition in our state is that it has no accepted medical use in the United States. Because we're not dummies, we know that 1/3 of the states, and soon, probably within a couple years, 1/2 of the states will have declared cannabis to be a medicine. All right, so those are the two branches. The third and final branch is the legislative branch. And this is another area that we can work on to try to make some positive change for our movement. But that requires us to figure out who our candidates are, what districts we live in, what the stances of the candidates that are running are on our issue. And so I can help with this cause. A lot of the rest of us can as well. But if you don't know your district, if you don't know who your representative is currently or who's running in your office, every single one of these yahoos behind me in the state legislature are all up for re-election this November 6th. So if we organize, we can fire them. They're representable to us. And also, we can run against them. If they have policies that are ridiculous and no one else is standing up for the fight, we can decide to pay a $100 sign-up fee and go to the Secretary of State's office, which I did, which I believe is over this direction, and you sign up your name and you get on the ballot and you tell everyone to vote for you because this is an issue that you're deeply concerned about. And so yeah, that's kind of the path forward in really boring technical terms. I'm sorry I'm not more eloquent of a speaker. I had very few jokes. I know that's a faux pas. But I encourage you to stick around, listen to some of this lovely music. We've got a lot of people volunteering to put this event on today. We really should give them all a round of applause if we could right now for donating their time and effort to get this word out. And yeah, thanks a lot for coming out, and vote for Curtis Hanna November 6th if you're in 62A. Peace, blessings, and yeah, solidarity in this drug war. Keep up the fight.